right, thank you very much, Bo. And as Nat Moore mentioned, special teams are big in tonight's weather forecast, brought to you by Audi. 86 degrees and partly cloudy skies, although mostly clear skies. And the Atlanta Falcons have won the toss, and Dan Carpenter will be kicking off, and Eric Weems will be back deep for the Falcons. The Falcons won their last 3 games at the end of last year to finish 9-7, and for the first time in franchise history had back-to-back winning years, and meant a lot for Mike Smith, very successful head coach for Atlanta. We're underway. Dolphins trying to go 3-0 in this year's preseason, and Weems will pick it up on the hop at the 1. And there you see good coverage by the Dolphins as Weems is tackled on the 17 by Nolan Carroll.
Put a big check mark in Nolan Carroll, the rookie from Maryland. Put him in his box right there.
No question about it, Bob. So here is Matt Ryan, who is the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2008, and fell off a bit last year, but they know that he is a good one and a keeper. And there's the rest of the Falcons offense, and of course Tony Gonzalez, veteran tight end, future Hall of Famer, and the go-to guy when they get near the goal line. First down on the 17, and the handoff is to Michael Turner, and Cameron Wake comes up to make the tackle. Let's take a look at the Dolphins defensive unit. And there they are, and Tim Dobbins is starting in this game in place of Channing Crowder, who has a nagging leg injury, and Dobbins, acquired from San Diego in a trade, has looked awfully good in preseason thus far. Second down and 7 at the 20. Here is Ryan with his first pass of the game, and he overthrows Tony Gonzalez. And they had Dansby, the linebacker, covering downfield, bringing up third down.
And guys, that's one of the big pluses of having a Carlos Dansby in your linebacker position, because he is known to be able to cover a lot of ground from that inside linebacker position.
Big free agent acquisition from the Cardinals, Dansby, along with Brandon Marshall on the other side of the ball, who we'll see shortly. Third down and 7. Out of the shotgun, Ryan's pass, and incomplete off the hands of Gonzalez. So he was going to the vet tight end on a couple of patterns. Fourth down coming up, and it's 3 and out.
Good coverage by the Dolphins. Nolan Carroll's got his man. You're right, he tried to hit Gonzalez, his favorite target, the tight end, a couple of times. Dolphins with a good defensive series.
Michael Kanan will be kicking, and he's a good punter, and Devon Bess will be back at his 33 to receive the kick. Good hang time there. And here is Bess. Good field position, and Bess crosses the 45 and is tackled at the 47-yard line. So Chad Henne will have outstanding field position for his first series of the game. And Henne, very impressive. Comeback game last week, 11 of 14, and the 3 incompletions were all dropped passes. Let's take a look at the rest of the Dolphins offense. And there you see Jake Grove. He's been in a duel with Joe Berger for the center spot. Grove is coming on and will start this game. From the 47, Henne looking to throw on first down, and he completes the pass to Brian Hartline. Good run after the catch. He gets into Falcon territory to the 38-yard line, a gain of 15. Let's now check the Atlanta defense, and that is expected to be improved this year. And there is Jonathan Abraham up front, a veteran with nearly 90 career sacks with the Jets before Atlanta.
Wildcat.
And a first down. We saw the Wildcat 3 times last week. And it's always in the plus 50. And there is Ronnie Brown on the direct snap, carries and gets inside the 35-yard line, gets about 5 or 6 yards, Thomas Deku, the free safety, brings him down.
Hey, guys, what makes this Wildcat so special with a guy like Ronnie Brown is his patience. You know, see him at the line of scrimmage. He's waiting. He's looking for creases. You know, that play could go anywhere. Over the left tackle or the right tackle. It doesn't make a difference. He's looking for a hole.
I had a great conversation yesterday with offensive coordinator Dan Henning, and he told us, you know, we like to get that out early just to see how the defense is going to play it.
So he's probing. 2nd down and 5. And the handoff is to Ronnie Brown. And Brown may get knocked back a yard on the play. Loss of 1. Curtis Lofton, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. What was really interesting to me is that Henning told us that last year they never had a turnover with the Wildcat at any time.
And they scored, you know, they use it a lot inside the 20 and inside the 10, and they scored a lot of their touchdowns with the Wildcat. As you mentioned, they didn't like to use it when they're behind the 50, always on the positive side of the 50.
3rd down and 6. Devon Bess now in the right slot on 3rd down as the 3rd receiver, and the pass knocked away, and it will be incomplete. Brandon Marshall, and now the pass was caught and a fumble and recovered by the Dolphins at the 20-yard line. So apparently Brandon Marshall had possession of the ball. It was jarred loose, and it benefited the Dolphins as Ronnie Brown recovered at the 20.
No huddle. They don't want them to look at it.
Yeah, they're going to look at it, and here's the challenge. And you can't blame them for that because they're going to claim it was an incomplete pass. No, he had it.
That's a completion.
An alert job by Ronnie Brown to jump on it. Falcons, they didn't think it was alive, but Ronnie Brown did.
Christopher Owens, cornerback, starting in place of Dante Robinson at right cornerback for Atlanta, forced the fumble. So not the kind of start that Brandon Marshall is looking for, but
fumble recovered by the offense. We'll review the play.
And that's John Parry, our referee tonight, and we have an extra official. We're going to have 8, and we'll explain. This is the first time they've experimented. We'll take a break. We'll be back. And John Parry, the referee, who is looking at the replays and will make the decision. Mike Smith threw the red flag to challenge. It was a gain of 15 yards if it is held.
Take a look. Both feet have to be on the ground with possession of the ball. He's in the air, left foot, right foot. I just want you to know Nat and I both voted that he caught the ball.
Without a doubt. I mean,
no prejudice involved.
I've never seen a receiver not catch the ball if he takes 2 steps.
Right.
Spoken like a true receiver, huh?
Hey.
Huh? Did you ever drop one?
All the time. Matter of fact, every time I did, I had to go see Shula.
Is that going to the principal's office?
And that's not good.
And I know what that conversation was like. It was all one-sided.
And what about you, Bob? Did you ever have to go to the principal's office?
No.
I'm old, but I remember times. It wasn't often, but every now and then everybody had to go see the principal.
Usually it wasn't very good. I remember one time on the sideline, I took a big sack, and he always wanted to call plays, so I went to the sideline. It was 3rd and 24. I said, you know, what do you like? He said, you got us into this mess. You get us out.
John Parry.
After reviewing the play is an incomplete pass. The ball will be respotted at the 32-yard line, middle hash, 4th down.
I like to know that rationale.
Reset the game clock to 11:35, and Atlanta is not charged with a team timeout.
All right, let's take a look at it again. What did they see? They knew the rules better than we do. In the air, 1, 2. I don't know.
Unless that rule is changed where you have to take 3 or 4 steps, normally it's a possession if you're able to take 2 steps.
So a long field goal try by Dan Carpenter, 53 yards. Carpenter has been perfect so far, 3 for 3 in preseason. And this is his longest so far, and this kick is good. Dan Carpenter with a 53-yard field goal. And so the decision goes against the Dolphins, but Carpenter gets the points. And early here in this first quarter, the Dolphins lead the Falcons 3-0. It's South Florida's biggest party. Be at Sun Life Stadium to experience Dolphins football live and in person. Season tickets as low as $34 per game. Save up to 25% off single game prices. Season tickets include the revolutionary Fan Vision with instant replay on demand right at your seat. Call 1-888-FINS-TICKS now or visit MiamiDolphins.com. So a 5-play, 17-yard scoring drive. Dolphins had the ball on their own 47 to start it. And here is Eric Weems, this time from the 5. Got a return by Weems, and there is Carpenter making the tackle, and Weems was headed upfield, and a 36-yard return by Eric Weems.
Well, the first kickoff coverage was good, and the second was not so good.
John Bonamego, the special teams, and really takes it all personally, does it, when things don't go right.
Well, you got to know that he's got a lot of guys out there that he's just trying out. A lot of these guys were free agents trying to make the club that won't be there in 2 weeks covering kicks. The other thing that is, most of these guys never played on special teams in college.
Never had an opportunity to play special teams, so it's all new to them.
Michael Turner with a good run off the left side with a tight formation gets 9 yards. Close to midfield, and Jason Allen.
And also, guys, special team-wise, you know, you got to put some of that on the kicker. You're looking for a deep kick down the field, high, hanging. Those balls are getting in a hurry. They're short and bouncers, line drives. So, you know, it's a little tougher to cover those type of kicks.
It'll be second down and short for the Dolphins, and then they go back to Michael Turner, and Turner dives forward close to the first down. Turner in his 7th year had a sprained ankle and missed 5 games. This is a team that's deep in the running department and an outstanding passing core as well. It'll be short by a yard, bringing up 3rd down and 1. Koa Misi was the first to make contact with Turner.
You know, the other thing about special teams is a lot of these guys were stars in college on offense or defense, and in college they never played special teams. Now they're asking them to play here just to make the ball flow.
Something new to learn. 2 tight ends. Justin Peel joins Tony Gonzalez. Roddy White goes in motion, and here is Turner going outside, has the first down, and slowed up by Vontae Davis. Davis suffered a chest injury, did not finish last week. Good to see him back, and a 10-yard gain, first down. Our HD coverage brought to you by BrandSmart USA. Just the start of things here at Sun Life Stadium. Dolphins winning their first 2 preseason games, and now have won 9 in a row over the past several years. It'll be a first down on the 41 of the Dolphins. Here's Matt Ryan going deep. Roddy White. And the pass is incomplete, and Jason Allen really had him covered well. The pass underthrown as well, and that will bring up second down.
Good inside technique by Jason Allen. Good coverage, turns, looks for the football, same time that the receiver does. That's what you're taught. And nice job of staying close to him, making body contact as he's turning, looking for the football.
5th season with the Dolphins, was a #1 pick, has been disappointing. Put a good check mark in the column where it says, attaboy.
Second down and 10. Ryan with the short drop, and he completes it to Tony Gonzalez. First catch of the game for Gonzalez. And just shy of the first down, it appears, at the 31.5. Jeremiah Bell, the strong safety on the play. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 again.
Dick, I really like this quarterback, Matt Ryan. He's tall. He came out in the same draft with Chad Henne a couple of years, 3 years ago. He was a #1 pick. Henne was in the 2nd round. Went to Boston College, did Matt Ryan. Saw him play some in college. He can really throw the ball, and a bright young man.
3rd overall pick, Jason Snelling, the 3rd down back, bulls his way for another Falcon first down to the 29. Tim Dobbins, who's starting for Channing Crowder at inside backer, along with Dansby, makes the tackle. So the Falcons are moving the ball and marching, trailing 3-0. Falcons will open the season against the Steelers on the road. They won't have to face Ben Roethlisberger. And, of course, the Dolphins open up at Buffalo. From the 29, here's Michael Turner. And good play made by Kendall Langford. Met him and knocked him back. No gain.
Guys, you've got a lot of new faces along that defensive line of scrimmage. With Channing Crowder out, you've only got two returning starters, from last year's front seven. So a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces, all trying to come together.
And of course, we'll have to tell you again, Mike Nolan, the new defensive coordinator, is not emptying his bucket and showing what he has in these preseason games, to say the least. Second down and 10. Here's Ryan. And trying to get it to Gonzalez. And again, Dansby was downfield covering and covering well.
He was right on his hip. And the quarterback, Ryan, had to throw the ball away from Dansby as much as anything. And, you know, you don't want to get it picked off because he could cut right in front of him and take it the other way. Dansby right in here on the inside, sliding to the outside. Look at that. He takes a nice angle, Matt. If he throws a bad pass, he's got it.
Yeah, he's got a great angle.
Third down and 10, and the crowd looking for a Dolphins stop here. Falcons are in field goal range, however, and on third down and 10, here's Ryan stepping up in the pocket and completes the pass to Harry Douglas, and that'll be a first down. You're right about Matt Ryan. He's a cool, collected quarterback, has a lot of poise, and an 11-yard pass, first down inside the 20.
Nolan Carroll is covering. This is a pass to the slot receiver. Carroll is the nickel cornerback in there at this time, and he's going to try the first half. He's going to get the opportunity to cover that guy. In the second half, it'll be the new defensive back.
Benny Sapp, acquired from the Vikings in the deal for Greg Camarillo. We'll see him in the second half. Here's the pass, and it's caught for the touchdown. And it's Roddy White, the ace receiver, as he makes the touchdown grab of 18 yards. And Jason Allen trying to cover Roddy White.
Jason Allen is actually an outside technique, as if he expects help from the safety. Roddy White just runs a deep post pattern, and he's got no help. Great arm by Ryan, gets the ball there in a hurry. No reaction time for Jason Allen to make a play.
Matt Bryant for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Falcons lead at 7-3. Matt Bryant, who was with Miami for 3 games back in 2004, giving the Falcons a 7-3 lead. 18-yard touchdown pass, Ryan to White. We're entering the most active part of the hurricane season, so for the latest on what's going on in the tropics, watch David Bernard and the CBS 4 Storm Team only on CBS 4 News, the official home of the Miami Dolphins. Scoring drive, 7 plays, 60 yards. And the 18-yard touchdown catch by Roddy White. And now the Dolphins will get the ball back as Kanan, kicking off Nolan Carroll, is deep. Bounces into his hands at the 7. And Nolan Carroll gets upended as he crosses the 30-yard line by Coy Wire. We're going to take a timeout. Chad Henne comes back to lead the Dolphin offense. We'll be back. And we're back here at Sunlight Stadium. Dick Stockton along with Nat Moore and Bob Greasy. And a pretty good matchup today. John Jerry, as you know, is going to be a fixture at right guard. The rookie from Ole Miss will be facing his brother, the defensive tackle Parade Jerry, playing his first game this year. Second-year player from Ole Miss, was a first-round pick, and there they are, the Jerrys, going at it today. One
of 6 kids, lived on a farm. Their mother let them play football, didn't tell their dad they were playing. And this is a pretty good matchup. We'll get a shot of them. They're inside, right guard and defensive tackle.
Brandon Marshall goes in motion. Handoff Ricky Williams, who's in the game. And Ricky Williams going straight ahead from the 32-yard line and picks up a couple of yards.
They're right in here. the right guard. The center blocks back on the defensive tackle, Jerry. Well, we'll watch him. We'll watch him, see if they get a. What Jerry say in the paper today? He says, I love my brother. He says, I love him to death.
So you're saying they're going to brother-in-law it?
Yeah, they're going to.
Brother-in-law it. Oh, that's good. Here's the handoff to Ricky Williams on the delay. And he doesn't get much as he's tackled at the 35-yard line by Curtis Lofton. Ricky Williams coming in, averaging over 4 yards a carry, 30 yards in 7 attempts coming in.
Go back and take a look up. 74. That's who we're looking at. Blocking his brother. 94. Got to stay with him because the defensive Jerry got back and got a piece of the tackle.
Sure did. 3rd down and 7. Passing situation with 3 wide receivers. Devon Best, and here's the pressure on Henne, and he won't get away, and down he goes. Croy Bierman, who is the designated pass rusher, who comes into the game for that purpose, and a loss of 9 yards. And so it's 4th down. Good pass rush that time.
Bierman is 71 right there in the center of your picture. The pressure comes from the outside. They had a slot blitz. And that's what got him out of the pocket first of all. But go ahead, Nat.
But, you know, he made the right decision. Instead of trying to make a play, he allowed the sack to happen. He can kick it away, play defense.
That's good decision making. You're absolutely right, Nat. Brandon Fields punt, and Eric Weems running up to make the play, and Weems will be stopped at the 40-yard line. But you're absolutely right, and also Owens coming in from the outside, as you pointed out. That was Tyrone Culver. He's made a lot of special teams tackles we've seen. We'll be back.
All right, guys, welcome back to Landshark Stadium. Time for a player profile brought to you by Geico. We've been talking about John Jerry. John Jerry, one of the players that this Dolphin coaching staff had in the South squad in the Senior Bowl. They got a good look at him. They also got a good look at Cole Misi and Jared Otter, who were on the other team. The last time the Dolphins took that many players from a Senior Bowl was back in Coach Shula's days. They coached the Senior Bowl. They had a couple guys named A.J. Dewey and Bob Baumhauer. They took those guys up in the draft. That was kind of the foundation of that Killer Bee defense. Hopefully, they've struck lightning in a bottle again with a couple of prospects from the Senior Bowl this year.
That's a great place to scout players.
It's a huge advantage to be coaching some of these players. You get to know them inside and out.
1st down at the 40-yard line. 7-3, the Falcons lead. 5:08 remaining in the first quarter. Here is Michael Turner. And Turner cuts upfield and gets a couple of yards. Changes up front in the front 3 for the Dolphins. That's Paul Soliai, who has been amazing in preseason. The backup nose tackle to Randy Starks has been good himself. Tony McDaniel and Marcus Douglas, the 11-year player, number 95, make up the ends.
Soliai hasn't missed many meals lately. He weighs 355.
But he's down.
He's down.
He's down.
He's down to 355. Oh, okay.
2nd down and 9. Turner going outside. Dansby trying to chase him and does a good job of getting by just about all of the Dolphin defenders. They're going to mark it down at the 49-yard line, just a half a yard shy of the 1st down.
55, the outside linebacker is Koamisi. He's got outside containment. He doesn't want to let anybody get outside of him. And then when Turner makes a little move inside, he gets suckered inside.
And that's a rookie mistake. You know, your first responsibility is to turn the play back in to the linebackers coming out. You can't let it get outside.
So it's 3rd and 1, and the Falcons have done well on 3rd and 1, passing often on that. Here they go to Turner, and he gets the 1st down into Dolphin territory at the 47-yard line. So Michael Turner, a Bulldog, and this is a team that if you have the running attack, look what it opens up for Matt Ryan. Mike Smith, who was an assistant coach for his brother-in-law.
Yeah, this is 3rd year.
Brian Billick.
Yeah, 3rd year being the head coach at Jacksonville. These two franchises are very similar. 3rd year for Tony Sperano as well.
From the 47, play fake for Ryan. He gets good protection, and this pass is knocked away. Good defensive play. Vontae Davis was covering Roddy White and making it difficult for White.
Guys, this is a reception, but the persistence of Vontae Davis not giving up on the play is actually able to reach in, strip him of the football, and save the reception.
Vontae Davis was one of those 2 cornerbacks that were drafted last year that played the entire season, and those guys are going to be really good.
You're amazed what a year of experience would do in that position. Second down and 10.
Put him out there and let him play.
And on a delay, here's Turner. And this time the Dolphins are there. Tony McDaniel leads the parade, and the gain of 1 for Turner. So McDaniel makes a good play. By the way, Ikaika Alama Francis has checked in for Koamisi at the strong side backer spot.
Take a look from behind the defense. It's McDaniel on the end, number 78.
Eric Walden has gone in at inside backer. 3rd down and 9. Out of field goal range right now are the Falcons. Less than 2.5 to go in the first. Here's Ryan's pass up the middle, and it's off the hands and incomplete. Ryan Finneran, the veteran receiver who has been injury plagued, and there's Tony Sperano applauding the defense.
Vontae Davis making a couple of nice plays on this series. Finneran throw was a little bit high, had to be a perfect throw because of the tight coverage.
Well, the thing that I like what Vontae does there is he's always trying to strip the ball out. He's not attacking the receiver ahead of time. He's waiting until the ball gets there.
Yep.
Good series for Davis and Michael Kanan punting, and this one will go into the end zone for a touchback. Could not save it. And so the Dolphins will get the ball back. 2:11 to go in the first quarter. They scored first on the field goal by Dan Carpenter, 53 yards. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for precision and performance. Get there on Goodyear Innovation. Well, guys, we mentioned we have a experiment in this game for the first time. We have a testing back judge who will be the 8th official. And there they are standing at the 50.
He's got somebody to talk to back there.
Marlon Moore into the game at wide receiver in the slot, was in motion. First down from the 20. Henny's pass, and it's caught by Ronnie Brown. And Brown gets to the 39-yard line and a first down for the Dolphins.
You know what I like about that? I like the way Henny threw that pass to a short receiver. One of the backs out of the backfield, just a little touch. Didn't have to drill it. Watch how he just takes some steam off of this. Just lays it out there. It looks like a Chad Pennington throw rather than a Henny. It's a touch pass.
19-yard gain up to the 39. Now Ronnie Brown goes in motion to the top of your picture, and Henny under a rush tries to get rid of it. And there was Curtis Lofton and Sean Weatherspoon, the rookie #1 pick out of Missouri. Both came in quickly on Henny.
And that time looked like the Dolphins was actually trying to set up a screen to Anthony Fasano. So wisely that time he knew he could get rid of the football, didn't have to take the sack, throw it at the feet of the tight end, and you can get away with an incomplete pass.
Bob, here are the 2 back judges who are close enough to have a chat.
Yeah, well, usually there's only one back there behind the defense in the middle of the field. But now they're trying to. Obviously, one guy looks at one side of the field and the other looks at the other side.
Here's Ronnie Brown, and Brown got off the line of scrimmage sharply, gets to the 45 where Weatherspoon makes the stop. A 6-yard pickup for Ronnie Brown as we wind down to a minute remaining in the first quarter. Third down and 4 coming up. Ronnie Brown coming into the game. His longest run from scrimmage was 8 yards, but the Dolphins know what the running backs can do. Third and 4. Henny's pass caught, and a first down. Brian Hartline takes the grab, and a flag is down. Penalty marker thrown. Jevis Jackson was on the coverage. 6 yards pending.
Holding, number 77. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
And that's from Jake Long, the left tackle. So that'll nullify that first down, obviously.
There you go, right up here. Jake Long, you know, he's done so much over the last couple of years. Looks like kind of a little takedown guy got beat.
And he's working against one of the best pass rushers in the league for many, many years. Atlanta picked him up as a free agent from the New York Jets.
John Abraham.
John Abraham.
And on the brink of 100 career sacks. So 3rd down and 14 instead of a first down to midfield. Long yardage. See what Henne does here, and he goes up on top, trying to get it to Brandon Marshall. And incomplete, and 4th down coming up, and the Dolphins will kick it away.
Well, Bobby had him open. It's just he threw it early, and they're not on the same page as to how he's coming out of that corner route.
I go back a play, a penalty. He threw the ball right before he broke. He didn't know, he wanted to get rid of it so he wouldn't take a sack.
Eric Weems from the 19. And Weems tiptoes his way down the left sideline, and another penalty marker is down as time runs out. Nolan Carroll made the play, but a return of 19 yards, but a flag down. Time has run out in this first quarter. John Parry getting it from the field judge here.
During the kick, kicking team player voluntarily going out of bounds. Number 28. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
That's Nolan Carroll, the rookie from Maryland. That's the end of the first quarter here at Sun Life Stadium. With the score, the Falcons 7 and the Dolphins 3.
Dolphins preseason football in high definition on CBS 4 is brought to you in part by Xfinity by Comcast. More options, more control, more speed, more HD than ever before. And by Audi, truth in engineering.
And a beautiful night in South Florida, and so far the rain has stayed away for the first time in preseason. We had that 2-hour delay with lightning in Jacksonville, and we had a lot of rain, which really messed up the skin portion of the infield. Start the second quarter, Dick Stockton, Bob Greasy, and Nat Moore. It'll be a first down for the Falcons from the 44, and the pass incomplete, and that was intended for Obi Mahaley, the fullback out of the backfield. Koa Misi makes the tackle. Langford Starks and Jared Odrick, the rookie from Penn State, back in there for Miami.
Koa Misi dropping off 55. That's the 2nd-round draft pick of Miami, and he continues to play well.
2 rookie starters, Odrick and Misi, on the defensive side of the ball. 2nd and 10. And here's Ryan going up the middle and took a hit as he let go of the ball. That was a good pass rush that won't go as a sack. And that was Cameron Wake. That's what they're looking for Wake this year.
Wake came from Canada out here on the outside. It's supposed to be one of his things that he does really well is rush the passer. 7 of the 8 draft picks the Dolphins took this year were on the defensive side. A lot of young guys.
That'll tell you something. 3rd down and 10. And there is Ryan's pass to Roddy White. Flag is down, and White is put down by Vontae Davis. He'll get the first down pending the call into Dolphin territory at the 43. That was a 14-yard gain if.
Prior to the pass being thrown, illegal contact. Number 21 defense. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play, 1st and 10.
So it was Vontae Davis on the illegal contact, and the 14-yard pickup will stick. First down, Falcons.
The only way a defender can make contact with any receiver is within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So therefore, if you back off and he runs into you, here's a good look at Vontae in coverage. Right there, he stretches his arm out, Can't do that.
Pass 5 yards, can't do it. Sean Smith is the other cornerback, and on 1st and 10, here's Ryan with a lot of time, going deep, and Roddy White had the defense beaten, but could not get that pass. And I don't know, Nat, is that a catchable pass for Roddy?
That is a drop. I mean, good throw. He lays out to try and make the catch, but when you get a guy this wide open, Bob, a little out and up, Sean Smith bites the cheese. This one here, Matt would like to have that one back. There's no reason.
That should tell Sean Smith something, that they're planned for that. They see that he's biting on the out move. That always told me something.
Turner off the left side, and a good tackle. Koamisi with a fine play. Remember, with Jason Taylor to the New York Jets, and a lot of the veterans we've seen, like Joey Porter, Will Wilson, young ones in there.
You saw Koamisi a little earlier covering a couple of passes. There he is playing the run. Pretty good job.
And good support by Sean Smith. These two corners for the Dolphins will come up and hit you. They're good tacklers in the open field.
Smith did not start. Jason Allen did. Smith is in there now, as is Charles Grant on 3rd down and 10. And the out pass knocked away nicely by Vontae Davis. Trying to go to Roddy White there. Ace receiver, 4th down, superb play.
And guys, that was a thing of beauty by Vontae Davis.
Yeah, you didn't like to see the one before where he hit the guy. But listen, these guys live on an island out there. There are going to be some bad plays in the game that they're going to make, and they're going to make a whole lot more good plays. You just have to take a few of the bad ones with a lot of the good ones.
Michael Kanan punting, and Devon Best standing at the 10. Of course, the yardage doesn't mean anything here, as Kanan wants to kick it high and keep it inside the 20, which he does. And the fair catch called for by Bess at the 13-yard line. Vontae Davis coming up big so far in this game, particularly on this play. Dolphin fans, get club-level seats now for the 3 primetime games against the Jets, Patriots, and Bears with the Primetime Premium Pack presented by Sun Life Financial. 3 games, 3 club-level seats, save $300. Enjoy your weather-protected wider seat or kick it up a notch and revel in the transformed climate control lounges of the club. It's a 5-star experience. Call 1-888-FINS-TICKS or visit MiamiDolphins.com. From the 13-yard line, Ricky Williams is the running back, but Penny out of the backfield finds Ricky, and he makes the catch shy of the 20, bobbled it but held on. Covered by the linebacker Curtis Lofton for 5 yards.
He had ideas of going downfield to either Brandon Marshall or the tight end, but they were covered, so he came out to come off to his outlet receiver.
Patrick Cobbs is in the game at running back. There's Brandon Marshall, who goes up to the right, 2nd down and 5. Looking for Marshall, but going underneath, and the pass to Brian Hartline. He's been reliable, and that will be enough for a Dolphin 1st down out to the 26, an 8-yard pickup.
Go back and take a look at the brothers, the 2 brothers, 94 and 74. John Jerry, the offensive guard for the Dolphins, is a little bit older than his brother, the defensive tackle, and he's bigger and probably says he's better looking too.
Of course. Here's a fade, and Marshall wasn't expecting it as he cut inside. That will go incomplete. By the way, Joe Berger has come in at center, replacing the starter Jake Grove. They will alternate at center at least through the first 3 quarters, but we'll have 2nd down and 10.
Berger incognito there, number 68. Jerry, you're right. He never said he was going to alternate the centers. The other 4 guys, he'd like for them to be the offensive line. He just wants to settle on it.
2nd down and 10. Penny spins around, and here's Ricky Williams again. Good straight arm by Williams. Got a couple of extra yards as a result. He'll be short of the 1st down by about 7 yards. Sean Weatherspoon, only a 2-yard pickup after all of that.
And guys, you work so hard to set a play up like this, and all it takes is one block, and Ricky's up the sideline. And, you get a tackle or a guard incognito that runs by a would-be tackler instead of helping, and that breaks down the play.
And not only did Ricky rush for over 1,100 yards last year, he caught 35 passes, so a good target for Henne.
What a great 1-2 punch with Ronnie Brown. 3rd down and 7. Devon Bess in the slot to the right. Here comes the pressure, and Henne on the run. Completes to Devon Bess, and the pass ruled incomplete. Never had possession of the ball. And it'll be 4th down. Would have been a big play on 3rd down to make it.
I like Henne moving around. That may be a time when he just threw the ball a little bit too hard. Bess, the number 2 guy in the entire NFL last year in converting 3rd downs.
Weems goes back, and Fields will punt. Weems grabs it at the 22. And down he goes. Tim Dobbins making the tackle. 7-3 to score. Still early in the 2nd quarter. We'll return to Sun Life Stadium after this. Here's a look at the trade this week. Greg Camarillo, very popular Dolphin who didn't drop a pass last year, traded to the Minnesota Vikings, who are short on receivers, and Benny Sapp, a defensive back who has experience, has been in the playoffs. We'll see him in the second half as the nickel corner.
And I think they also brought him in because they're looking for help on special teams, and he's one of the best at it.
First down at the 37. Michael Turner. And Turner picks up a yard on the play.
Will Allen, the corner that started last year some and then got hurt, is still injured. Don't know how soon he might be back.
Micah Johnson, a rookie from Kentucky, has replaced Tim Dobbins in inside linebacker. Carlos Dansby remains the other inside backer.
Johnson is getting, as Tony would say, how does he put it? Bump him up a little bit, give him a chance to play with the big boys.
2nd down and 9. Short drop by Ryan, hits Roddy White, and he's pushed out of bounds by Vontae Davis, but it'll be enough depending on where they spot the ball, or now they move it in, so they may not have the first down. Matt Ryan now 5 for 15. But he has thrown the touchdown pass, the 18-yarder to Roddy White, to make it 7-3 after Carpenter's field goal put the Dolphins ahead in the first quarter. Third down and 1 on the Atlanta 46, Turner. And this time he is knocked back in a fumble. He was knocked back, and the Dolphins recover. So the second effort try by Michael Turner backfires for him, and he turns it over, and Dansby comes out with the ball, and the Dolphins get it back in Atlanta territory.
This Dolphin defense have been very opportunistic. They have forced quite a few turnovers in this first preseason ball game.
That was Vontae Davis, I think, who knocked it away. It was. And Dansby recovered. Boy, what a game he's having. What a terrific first half for Vontae Davis, recovering the fumble, and he's been all over the field coverage-wise.
Well, this is what you call great coverage, knowing your beat but sticking with the play. Nice job of scripting Finnerman of the football. And now watch him turn. Good concert, keeps that left arm off the receiver, swaps it down with the right hand. And then coming up, shakes it loose.
Tough tackle.
Dolphins football.
Got his head and shoulders right on the ball, knocked it loose.
First down for the Dolphins on the Falcon 47. Here's the pitch to Ronnie Brown. And Brown is knocked back by Troy Bierman. Helmet got knocked away, and the ball as well. And a penalty marker thrown. So far, the Falcons have outgained the Dolphins 27 on the ground.
Illegal formation. Offense. Only 6 men in the line of scrimmage. That penalty's been declined. Second down.
So they are outgained by 27 on the ground, by 20 in the air, and 100 yards total for the Falcons to 53 by the Dolphins, a loss of 1.
The Dolphins have also outgained him in penalty yards.
Right.
Well, you know that Tony can't be happy. You know, you want to control the line of scrimmage, and so far they're not getting any movement up front.
And Jake Grove is back in at center. He started the game. It'll be second down and 10. Henny's pass, and it's dropped by Hartline. Well, for South Florida's best coverage, plus everything else going on in the world of sports, watch Jim Berry only on CBS 4 News, the official home of the Miami Dolphins. Jim does a terrific job. And he'll have a lot to say about the Dolphins this coming week.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully the Dolphins will pick it up a little bit and he'll have a bunch of good things to say.
Remember, this is the toughest test for them, the third game. The fourth is not nearly as important. It'll be against Dallas. Third down and 11 from the 48. Henny's pass, and this is held on to by Hartline. It'll be shy of a first down by 1.5 yards with Brent Grimes, the cornerback. So now it's 4th and short, and the Dolphins will go for it. Fasano comes on.
And I guess, guys, if you're at home, you're wondering, why didn't he run it a step deeper? It's still all about the timing. You're trying to time up with your quarterback. If you run it a step deeper, the blitz is coming, your quarterback's sacked.
Right. They did a nice job of picking up the blitz, getting rid of the ball, picking up a lot of yardage. 4th down and 1.
From the 38, and Fasano and David Martin are the two tight ends. Ronnie Brown, and they go to the fullback, Lusaka Polite, and Polite apparently did not make it. And maybe the Falcons are aware that this has been a Dolphin practice, and it's 4th down and stopped by the Atlanta defense on the goal line or short yardage stand.
Well, I tell you, Dick, you could have made that tackle if you're Corey Bierman because nobody blocked it. I mean, you're talking about a defensive end just coming right down the line of scrimmage when you're running a cross trap play with your fullback coming into the hole on his side. I mean, somebody missed an assignment on that play.
And if you're sitting at home and you're getting tired of seeing that fullback carry on 3rd and 1 or 4th and short, wait till the season starts. You'll see some fresh new plays.
Here's another look at it. Bierman comes in. Nobody blocks him. You know, he's got a straight shot at the fullback. It's just a busted assignment there.
So taking over on downs, the Falcons, and here is Michael Turner with the rush outside. Took over on the 38-yard line, and a 5-yard pickup for Michael Turner. Cameron Wake making the tackle. So 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half, and
it's David Lee, the quarterback coach, there talking with Chad.
We have not really seen the flare and flash from the Dolphin offense that we saw last week against Jacksonville.
Well, and that's why this game is so important against a team like Atlanta. You know, this is the team they opened the season with last year and got handled pretty handily. And to get them in this third preseason game is great work for this Dolphin football team, getting them ready for the season.
Tim Dobbins makes the tackle on Michael Turner after a gain of 3. Tim Dobbins, acquired from San Diego, playing for Channing Crowder. And Dobbins, there's Crowder. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Falcons on their own 46. Jarius Norwood, another one of the running backs who are threats in the game for the Falcons. And the pass underneath, and Roddy White makes the catch and may have enough for the first down. Just shy of midfield, and apparently it is a 3-yard pickup, and the Falcons will keep possession.
Guys, Nolan Carroll is getting a good look at what he will see all year long if he's the nickel back. You know, it seemed like they're picking on him on 3rd down. You know, they're putting their best receiver against your 3rd corner.
In the slot. And that's where quarterbacks are going to throw the ball a lot on 3rd and short.
That's why Benny Sapp was acquired, and the handoff to Michael Turner, and Turner gets about 3. Another flag is down. The experience of Benny Sapp, and how important is the nickel corner, because
substitution. 12 men on the field at the snap. Defense, 5-yard penalty, replay.
Well, that's not good.
First down.
Well, I think that's more, as you talk about Benny Sapp, you know, you've got 2 second-year players in Smith and Davis, and all of a sudden now you're stuck with possibly having to play 2 rookies this year as your backup cornerback, so you need some experience.
And, Matt Ryan took a knee, another flag was thrown, and a big conference held right around midfield, so penalty-filled series.
Encroachment, number 94. Defense, 5-yard penalty, which results in a first down.
That was on Randy Starks, so they'll mark it off. It'll be a first down at the 41.
Yeah, well, he's right there in the middle, right over the ball. I mean, you shouldn't. You think you would think that if you're right on the ball, if you're a nose guard right over the ball, but it's the voice, the inflection that you hear better than anybody, and that's what gets you.
Dolphins have all 4 of the penalties thrown so far. Here's Michael Turner slowed up, and a good play made by Randy Starks there. Starks taking over for the retired Jason Ferguson, and nose tackle, was a defensive end, and he can do a lot of things as a nose tackle.
Yeah, he's a very talented player, and you watch him beat the block of the center and get back into play, and then Charles Grant getting off his block and being a factor.
By the way, Charlie Anderson, who's been a weak side backer, playing inside right now with Tim Dobbins. Second down and 11, and the pass caught by Tony Gonzalez and covered by Anderson downfield, and a pickup of about 8 yards. And a no-huddle offense being run by the Falcons. Third down and 2. And a 4-3 defense, 4-down lineman for the Falcons. For the Dolphins, Matt Ryan is running for the first down and will get it up to the 30-yard line. Tim Dobbins making the tackle. So we're seeing the 4-3, and that's what Mike Nolan wants to see, with the same personnel going from 3-4 to the 4-3, which they showed there.
Well, they had the nickel back in there, Dick. It was actually a 4-2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs, and the coverage was there. And one of the things that Ryan can give you is just a little bit of running. I can run across the line of scrimmage and pick up 3rd and 3.
First down at the 30, and it's been a hurry-up offense on this series for Atlanta. Play action, and Ryan's pass, and a good catch made by Harry Douglas on the low throw. He'll get just a few yards on it. 3 in all as we wind down to 4 minutes to go in the half. Second down and 7. Neither team has used a timeout yet in this half. And the audible by Matt Ryan here. Turner is stopped by Micah Johnson. 3-yard pickup. Bring up 3rd down and 4 for Atlanta.
What's Tony? How does Tony put it? He sees a player doing something good out there like Micah Johnson. He says, "Yeah, I felt him a little bit.
Yeah,
I felt Micah Johnson a little bit. We're going to bump him up and let him play with the big boys.
That's great.
I felt him out there tonight."
That's the first time I've ever heard a coach use that. 3rd down and 4. Dolphin fans looking for a stop here. Ryan completes it to Tony Gonzalez, and he'll have the first down. Dansby was downfield covering, but the Falcons getting 12 yards on the play, will have a first down inside the 15.
Watch this matchup right here. This is a pretty good matchup here. Dansby against Gonzalez. What do you do, push off of him a little bit, man?
Yeah, a little push off, but you know, when you're a 14-year veteran, you get away with that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's the quick to Roddy White, and he is hit immediately by Vontae Davis, and they'll lose a couple of yards. But the one thing that we haven't seen, and of course they're throwing with the short drop, is the real pressure on Matt Ryan in the pass rush.
Well, what we've seen is a couple blitzes, but nothing that was an all-out blitz. They brought Carroll a couple times, but nothing where they're selling out where Atlanta can't pick it.
Would Mike Nolan tell us, what was it, last week? We had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinators. Yeah, we work on some of that stuff during the week, but we haven't shown any of it during the ball games on the weekends.
Nope, he's saving it. And he's saving the pass rush for the opening day in Buffalo, at least to this point. 2-minute warning. We'll be right back with the Falcons. Falcons lead the Dolphins 7-3 in tonight's Trivia Challenge presented by the South Florida Hyundai dealers. Jake Long was the NFL's overall #1 draft pick in 2008, one of only 6 offensive linemen ever selected first. But Jake is also in another very selected group of top picks. Since the NFL merger in 1970, only 4 #1 picks have played in a Pro Bowl following their rookie season. Of the other 3, how many can you name? Stay tuned for the answer. Good question.
Who thinks he's up?
Nat does on Monday morning.
Well, Nat usually go to the Pro Bowl trying to buy a ticket, so.
It's back in Hawaii this year.
I know.
2-minute warning. 2nd down and 13 for the Falcons. 2 tight ends for Atlanta. Pass thrown incomplete to Roddy White. Sean Smith on the coverage. It'll be 3rd and 13. Well, if you're looking for the Chargers-Saints game, you can find it on our sister station, WBFS My 33 Cable 3. Little programming change.
There we go.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 13. Jerry is Norwood. 3rd down back in the game. White and Finneran are the 2 receivers. Ryan dumps it off to Norwood. And Norwood is stopped at the 8-yard line, bringing up 4th down. That was Nolan Carroll, the nickel corner, making the tackle. 4th down coming up, and the Dolphins will call a timeout. It will be the first timeout by either team in this first half, and we'll take a break. 1:47 on the clock in the second. And welcome back to Sun Life Stadium here in Miami Gardens, Florida. Dick Stockton along with Nat Moore and Bob Greasy. Kim Bocamper on the field, and we'll get to him shortly. Dolphins calling a timeout, and Matt Bryant is on to attempt a 26-yard field goal. Mike Smith's Falcons to deal with the defending Super Bowl champions, the Saints, in the same division, along with the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Carolina Panthers. It's always a topsy-turvy division. And Bryant's kick is good, and the Falcons have extended their lead now to 10-3 as we send it down to Bo.
All right, guys, time to take a look around the league. This trip around the NFL is driven by Jeep. Let's go ahead and look at the Leinart situation. We're calling it the end of the Leinart. Cardinals will start Derek Anderson at quarterback Saturday. Matt Leinart, the big star out of USC, is he done? Well, he's none too happy with being sent back in the lineup, so we'll see what happens there. Preseason pain in Indy. Joseph Adai, the running back, got a concussion last night. That came off a fumble from Peyton Manning. Also, Gary Brackett, the linebacker, injured his hand. X-rays were negative, and the Mile High effect in Denver. Steelers safety Ryan Clark will not play in Denver Sunday due to the red blood cell situation that he's got exacerbated by the high altitude there in Denver, so he will not play. That is a story around the NFL, guys. Back to you.
Good job, Bo. And Bob Greasy, what about Sam Bradford? Pretty impressive debut for him.
Yeah, I like that. What about Aaron Rodgers?
A lot of people.
The Green Bay Packers you know, 10 years from now, they may be asking a trivia question. Who was the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers before Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think so.
Huh? Come on. Well, no, wait a minute. What if he goes on and he plays
Number 4 will always be synonymous with Green Bay. I don't care what you say.
You mean when he goes in the hall?
When he goes in the hall.
He's going to go in with a green jersey?
Whether he like it or not.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right.
The question is whether Rodgers will be better than number 4 this year in that division.
I think so.
Nolan Carroll returning the kickoff inside the 5 and upended. Pretty good stop. Weems, who does returning on his own, gives right back. And so
to this point of the game, the special teams play for the Falcons is much better than that we've seen here for the Dolphins.
You know, you always hear me talk about patience. You know, this kickoff returns, it's not about patience. You've got to hit it. You've got to find a crack. The longer you wait, the more defenders are going to get there and close those lanes down. You know, you got to find a hole and go. Trust me, I know. I did it.
Did you do it?
I did it.
Did you do it in college?
I did it in college.
Yeah, all right.
from the 17, ball is tipped, trying to get it to Brandon Marshall, who has not caught a pass, and it was John Abraham who got a hand on that Henne pass. Chad Henne, who was working this first half, 6 for 13 for 58 yards.
It's not a happy huddle. It's nice to see Henne just trying to give a little leadership, a little motivation. They've had the ball 5 times, and they've only came away with 3 points.
Berger back at center. 2nd down and 10. Dolphins down by a touchdown, and this one incomplete. Intended for Ricky Williams, so it'll be 3rd down and 10. And with 1:31 to go, and remember the Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts left, and if the Dolphins don't get a first down here, they have enough time for sure with timeouts to do something more. There's Chad Pennington, who is slated to see action.
If you weren't with us at the beginning, we were told by Tony yesterday that the first group would play the first half and into the second half, and Pennington would play. So I'm sure that the first group, offense and defense, is going to come back out here and start the 3rd quarter.
Reheat them, what Tony Sparano said. This out is caught by Brandon Marshall, but he'll be shy of the first down. So there again, Nat Moore, 3rd down play, got to get to the sticks, yes?
Well, and I think for a guy like Brandon Marshall, it's not about getting to the sticks, it's just you're too wide. I mean, you're a big, strong receiver. You're working outside. Now, when you catch the ball, you're on the sideline. You know, the defender can use the sideline as an extra defender now. You want to give yourself some room to turn back in or square up as you catch the football.
Dominique Franks, rookie from Oklahoma, back deep. Brandon Fields with the kick. Here's Franks, and won't go anywhere, and he is stopped in his tracks at the 30-yard line.
There's some good coverage.
Benny Sapp made the play, so there's the special teams. You were talking about that, Nat Moore. Here he is.
This is what you've got to have. Guy that's willing to fight the double team, work through it, doesn't give up on the play, gets there, gets down around the ankles of the returner, and makes the play. You can't be blocked. You can't allow yourself to be blocked.
This is a kid, Benny Sapp, that's been in the league. This is his 7th year. He started about half the games last year because what's-his-name got hurt, the corner for Minnesota.
But that's what you're looking for, Bob. A guy that can be a backup but can be special on special teams.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying he's played some.
And coming back home, Lauderdale Lakes, Boyd Anderson High School. And there's the pass, and it's picked off by Jeremiah Bell. Roddy White was the target, and Jeremiah Bell was back there on the deep pass as the Dolphins with the 2nd turnover against the Falcons here.
And this is just a great job by, once again, Vontae Davis, rerouting the receiver, forcing him outside where it becomes a long throw, and that gives Jeremiah Bell a chance to react and make the play.
It's a 2-deep zone. Yep, the cornerback jammed him and let him go, and the safety Bell got over there when the ball hung up.
3rd interception in preseason for the Dolphins. They have time with 1:06, 2 timeouts left from their own 49. Here's Ronnie Brown And Ronnie Brown gets no running room and will lose a yard on the play. Thanks to Jamal Anderson and company. Hurry up. Under a minute remaining. Henne going for Brandon Marshall. Marshall makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 26. That'll be a 26-yard gain for the Dolphins.
Love this throw. Look at this. Soft. Laid it up. I like what I'm seeing from some of these passes that he's throwing.
And it helps when you have a 6'4" receiver that you can hang it up.
So that's the longest play offensively for the Dolphins tonight. First down at the 26 of the Falcons, trailing by a touchdown. Henne gets protection, and the pass is knocked away. Anthony Fasano, who caught 2 touchdown passes last week, covered by Thomas Deku, the free safety. Stops the clock with 36 seconds.
Here he is here. Go to the left. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. Too late. It's too late. You need to get him much sooner than that.
And you almost wonder if the receiver didn't rush the route.
Could have.
You know, you get up on that safety a little bit more and then snap it off.
Yep.
Second down and 10 from the 26. Still 2 timeouts for the Dolphins.
That could have been a touchdown there.
Yes.
Ronnie Brown gets the handoff. And here's Ronnie Brown going outside, but a good play by Curtis Lofton, the middle linebacker. And a loss of 1 on the play. Now we have 30 seconds to go, and the Dolphins have called a timeout. They'll have 1 left. Well, Chad Henne is trying to make something out of the last minute or so after really a quiet quarter and 3 quarters.
Well, that's why they say football is a 60-minute game. You know, you can look so bad for a while, and all of a sudden it's a little spark, and now you're moving the football. And, you know, when I look at this Atlanta football team and what I see is speed, it's hard to get wide on these guys. So it's so important that your offensive line have to get moving because of the great speed lateral that this Atlanta football team possesses.
That little spark you talked about was Jeremiah Bell giving them good field position. Now your playmakers got to make some plays or you're going to kick another field goal.
Third down and 11, 30 seconds to go. Only 1 timeout left for Miami. Tell you, this Atlanta Falcon team, a real good test for the Dolphins tonight. And they're proving it. Henne. Caught by Brandon Marshall inside the 10. And he'll have the first down at the 7-yard line, a gain of 20, so 46 yards on 2 passes and 15 seconds to go. And they're going to clock the ball and stop the clock with 10. And now 9. The clock is running, but it shouldn't be. And they'll have to adjust the clock.
It's preseason for that clock operator.
You know,
Please reset the game clock to 11 seconds.
That usually doesn't happen when you're the home team.
No, that's right. Usually the home cooking works the other way. You don't get cooked by the home team. But, you know, that's where, as a receiver, you got to be aware you have no more timeouts. You catch the football. You know you're not going anywhere. You got to get down. Now, on the other side, Atlanta's trying to hold him up. They realize, see, right here, you want to get down, stop the clock, so you can get everybody up to the ball and down.
On a play that far and he's already down, by the time everybody gets up there, you ought to just call a timeout because they had all to get all their people up there. They wasted like 10 seconds. Take the timeout and save yourself.
They got 1 left with 11 seconds to go. Second down and goal. Here is Henne. Fires, tipped in the air, and it's intercepted. And that will do it for that threat as the interception. And it might have been Eric Coleman. We'll check to see. And it was Coleman. Fasano was the intended receiver.
Fasano's going to be open, but there's a linebacker in between. Watch Fasano. He's going to be wide open. Now, you got a linebacker. 53 is right in between Henne and Fasano. And he's the guy that tips the ball.
I don't know if he actually saw the linebacker, Mike Peterson. sometimes when you're trying to look around those big offensive linemen, you miss seeing some of those defenders.
That's true. That is so true.
So the Falcons stopped the Dolphins, who were marching smartly, as Chad Henne threw 2 passes to Brandon Marshall for a total of 46 yards, and that will do it. That's the end of the first half, and the Falcons proving to be a tough foe. They are a playoff contender in the NFC. 10-3, the score at halftime. Let's go down to Bo and Coach Sperano.
Coach, pretty frustrating first half offensively. It seemed like you have things going. You seem to shoot yourself in the foot too often.
We're not being very efficient right now. I mean, we do have some things going out there. And at times, we execute pretty well, but our efficiency wasn't very good. And at the end of that thing, you're not finishing drive.
Will you play your starters a little longer in the second half?
We clearly will play them on offense, and we get the ball coming out, so we'll do that. Maybe a few guys on defense, yes.
All right, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach Sperano, all right, Dolphins trail 10-3 at halftime. Let's head back up to the booth.
All right, Bo, they came close to tying this game, but no cigar. 10-3, score at the half, and we'll be back with the KFC halftime report.
Tonight's halftime report is presented by KFC. Tonight's telecast also brought to you in part by Acura Advance, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com.
All right, as we wrap up the KFC halftime report, getting ready for the second half kickoff, the Dolphins will get the ball. Nolan Carroll going back deep. Is it safe to say we're safe weather-wise tonight, or is it too premature?
No, it's too premature to say that.
Kick into the end zone. Good one by Kanan, and the Dolphins will take it out on the 20-yard line. And Chad Henne, who in the first half completed 9 of 20 for 109 yards and 1 interception. And his longest pass, 26 yards, and it was on that last drive to Brandon Marshall. Also hit a 20-yard pass to Marshall. And we'll see what he does here and the amount of time he plays. So it's the first team. Ricky Williams, though, will be the running back, but the first team offensive line, including Jake Grove, who started at center. Out to Ricky Williams, and Williams will have the first down. Good swing pass that time, well executed. Chevis Jackson makes the tackle, a gain of 14.
Well, this is where you start to mature. You look downfield, there's nothing there, you get it to the back in stride, and then you see Ricky finishing off the play, lowering his shoulder and delivering the blow to Chevis Jackson instead of accepting the blow.
I really like this Ricky Williams. He plays hard, he gets up, he runs back. He is a good football player. 7th
year with the Dolphins, first down. And the handoff to Ricky Williams again, cutting inside. But the hole closes up. That's Jamal Anderson who makes the play, and a gain of 1, bringing up 2nd and 9. Dolphins running attack in the first half. You mentioned only 10 yards, Nat. They rushed 9 times for 10 yards. That's a 1.1 average, and the longest run was 6. Come out with 2 tight ends with Fasano and David Martin on 2nd and 9. And they go to Ricky Williams up the middle, and nothing doing there. 3rd and long for Miami. Opening possession of the second half.
This Atlanta defense was pretty good last year in the National Football League. They were 10th against the run, Nat. You mentioned the Dolphins being 4th offensively rushing the football. This defense for Atlanta was pretty good against the run.
Well, and that's what you want to go up against. You know, I mean, you're looking for a barometer as to where you're at getting ready to go into the season. And, you know, this is the game you need.
The Dolphins are only 1 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Got for a blitz up here at the top. There it comes.
And Henne's pass. And it is incomplete. Hartline shaken up a bit, but he appears all right. No, he doesn't, as he limps off the field. Brian Hartline coming off the field, shaken up in 4th down upcoming.
Brian is working one-on-one against the cornerback, and really gets speared in the end by, I think that was number 26. Eric Coleman comes in late and spears him in the hip. As you see him grab his hip.
Brandon Fields kicking, and Eric Weems backing up to the 5. Turning the corner and knocked out of bounds by Carroll. So the Miami Dolphins get 1 first down on their first possession. Hope Hartline is all right, but he's limping along. We'll be right back. (10-3), the Falcons lead the Dolphins, and now the answer to our trivia challenge presented by the South Florida Hyundai dealers. Tonight's question: since the NFL merger in 1970, only 4 number 1 picks have played in a Pro Bowl following their rookie season. Jake Long is one. Of the other 3, how many can you name? Well, here's a hint. The other 3 were running backs. First, Earl Campbell of the Houston Oilers in 78, Billy Sims of the Lions in 80, George Rogers, the last to do it, the Saints in 81.
I still see Earl Campbell running down the sideline of the what's the name of that, Astrodome or something?
Yes,
there in Houston.
Flag is down as Turner carries.
That was the name of it, the Astrodome.
And there they are. Yes, it's the Astrodome on AstroTurf.
Monday Night Football, and Earl Campbell goes 88 yards against the Miami Dolphins.
Personal foul, illegal crackback, number 86. Half the distance, replay, first down.
Brian Finneran with a critical crackback block, half the distance.
The first infraction against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
Dolphins had 4, and a couple of them stopped a couple of drives.
12-yard penalty with half the distance. Opening moments of the third quarter, Dick Stockton, Bob Greasy, and Nat Moore. Here is the crackback block.
Right there. If you're on the outside coming back toward the ball to block, you cannot start the block below the waist.
First down and 22. Back on the 12-yard line. Matt Ryan dumps it off to Jason Snelling. And Snelling takes it out to the 15-yard line. Randy Starks, the nose tackle, makes the play. By the way, Tyrone Culver starting at strong safety in place of Jeremiah Bell, who had an interception in the first half. Chris Clemens is also back there. And now our first look at Benny Sapp from Lloyd Anderson High, Fort Lauderdale. And Sapp, the newcomer, acquired for Greg Camarillo.
And I wonder if he's as big a shock about the trade as Camarillo was going the other way.
Second down and 19. Sapp is the nickel corner, and this pass, and they're going to call it a completed pass to Roddy White with Vontae Davis covering a gain of 9. Bo, what about Hartline's injury?
Well, I've kept a pretty good eye on him since he came off the field. He never went on the trainer's table, which is a good thing. Talked to the trainers. He's a tough kid. He's just trying to shake it off. He's kind of feeling it every now and then, but looks like he's going to be ready to go. There's a trainer standing there with a bag of ice, and I think Hartline's trying to decide whether he's going to use it or not. But right now he's standing. They're not looking at him too much, and they are going to put the ice on him, so we'll probably see the last of Brian Hartline tonight.
Good news. Here's Ryan, and the pass is knocked down by Vontae Davis. Again, Roddy White, the intended receiver, so it's fourth down.
You know, you just love the quickness and the reaction of Vontae Davis. He gets beat inside. Now he's sitting there. Now watch him locate the football, gets his hands on it, came very close to having an opportunity to get a pick there.
Davis has had a terrific game after missing most of last week with that chest injury. So Michael Kanan will kick it away, and Devon Bess back deep for the Dolphins. Short kick, fair catch called for by Bess at the 40. Trying to get a couple of extra bonus yards after the fair catch, but they'll send it back to the 40-yard line, and so that's where we are. So the Dolphins come back. And Chad Pennington will come into the game, and he was spectacular in one drive, got a touchdown, 3 for 4 for 54 yards, 37 of them coming on a pass to Brandon Marshall. So Chad Pennington is in at quarterback as Chad Henne went 10 for 22 for 123 yards and threw an interception, as the Dolphins came close to scoring a touchdown toward the end of the half. And as Bo indicated, hardline not coming back. Marlon Moore, the rookie from Fresno State, number 14, is in the lineup along with Devon Bess. And a first down at the 40-yard line. Pennington takes off and slides close to midfield. He'll get 9 yards.
He's been sitting over there on the sideline for about 3 hours, and the first play he gets in, he's got to run.
Second week in a row, he's had everybody covered, saw the middle of the field open, and took off.
That's the longest run from scrimmage for the Dolphins tonight, by the way. And it's second down and 1, just shy of midfield. Ronnie Brown comes in as the tailback. He'll get the call, and he'll get the first down into Falcon territory, picking up a couple. As Bob mentioned at the outset, Tony Sperano intending to use Chad Henne for a half and a little more, which he did, and then Pennington, and then we're going to see Pat White. First down at the 48 of Atlanta. There's Pat White, who has played briefly so far. Patrick Cobbs. Actually, they have no setback in there right now. There are 5 players lined up as receivers. And Pennington up the middle. Fasano off his hands, incomplete. And it'll be third down or second down. And Jake Grove is shaken up. Grove and Berger have been alternating at the center position. Grove got the start tonight. Andrew Hartline is the third string center. And Grove's going to come out of the game. Berger replaces him.
They've been switching off back and forth, and you know, they've been having problems with who to play at guard. And we asked them the other day, well, if the 2 centers are within your best 5 offensive linemen, can't one of the centers play guard? But no, they said that wasn't a possibility.
Second down and 10. Ricky Williams went in motion, and this pass is to Ricky Williams, makes the catch, and he'll have the first down out of the 30-yard line. Chan Schillinger, the rookie from Montana, making the tackle. Good play by the Dolphins.
Quarterback actually sets on Brandon Marshall, turning out. Ricky slides up the field in a cover 2 defense, and just a beautifully thrown football by Chad Pennington, dropping it over the head of the corner.
It's where Marshall attracted much more attention than Ricky Williams did.
17-yard gain and a first down on the 31 of the Falcons. Ronnie Brown returns to the lineup. Quick pass to Fasano, and Fasano gets good yardage, about 7 or maybe more on first down.
Now guys, this is, and I hate to say this with Greasy in here, but this is what a veteran is all about. As soon as he sees blitz, ball's out of his hand. You know, he catches it, hot read, ball's in Fasano, the tight end hand, but the tight end and the quarterback got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
It's called a hot read, and they're both on the
Why
same
are
page.
you sorry to say it with Greasy in the
Because
booth?
he used to always brag about how good he was at that.
And here's a Wildcat.
I never bragged about anything.
Here's a Wildcat, and Pennington is at the top of your picture. He split to the left, and here's Ronnie Brown. And Ronnie Brown looking for running room, gets a couple of yards. And old canny Dan Henning just checking to see how they play it, because he may have another kind of Wildcat up his sleeve.
Mm-hmm. They used the Wildcat in, I think, the second or third play of the game on about the 50, maybe the 45-yard line going in. And he had an idea on how Atlanta was going to play the Wildcat. And this is the first time we've seen it since.
And Henning, head coach of the Falcons for 4 years in the mid-'80s. It'll be a 3rd down and 3. Ronnie Brown came out, Ricky Williams in, and here is Pennington's pass, knocked away, intended for Best, and a good play made by Chevis Jackson, but a flag goes down. He may have been premature with the contact.
It's thrown by the other official.
Illegal contact, number 25, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And it was the other back. It was William Moore.
Yeah, and I think the Dolphins are going to like this 8th official because he's the one that made the call.
Yes, on Brandon Marshall. See, it was 25. If the call was Moore on Brandon Marshall. Right. It wasn't on the pass.
There they are. One's a back judge and the other one is the deep judge.
And remember, this is a trial.
Yeah.
You know,
First time it's been tried is right.
Yeah.
1st down and 10 at the 19 of the Falcons. And the end around to Marlon Moore. Moore inside the 10, and the helmet goes off. William Moore, no relation, and Marlon Moore will have a 1st down on the end around inside the 10 for the Dolphins, a gain of 12.
well, guys, I don't care what Tony or anybody says, they like this guy. I mean, here's a guy that when they talk about him, they say he got speed, a little shiftiness. I mean, all of those accolades that he brings to the table.
He is one of the reasons that allowed the Dolphins to trade Camarillo for a defensive back, which they so badly needed.
They love Moore's quickness, his ability to separate, catching the ball a lot better now. He ran with it there, 1st and goal after 7. And the play fake, and here is Pennington into the corner, and the pass was intended for Brandon Marshall, looking for the call on Brian Williams, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, he was just throwing that ball away. He was just giving Marshall an opportunity, but both his guys were covered. He wants to throw it inside first. Then he says, all right, I'll try and throw it outside, but I want to throw it way outside.
I think Brandon Marshall has a good point.
I do too.
That's twice tonight that Brandon Marshall have not gotten the call.
Right there, right there.
He's draped all over him.
Where's the respect, guys? Where's the
Almost pulled his
respect?
pants down.
2nd and goal at the 7. The audible by Chad Pennington here. And whistle, no play. Flag thrown in the end zone.
Play game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Those are costly, these penalties.
Well, he says something was wrong with the clock. He saw it. It's right in front of him. I mean, there's no reason for a quarterback not to be aware of the 25-second clock in that situation. It's right behind. Look, it's right at him.
Staring you in the face.
And he says, I got it off in time.
2nd down and goal. The ball back at the 12 now. Empty backfield. Pennington goes to Ricky Williams, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and that wasn't his primary target. There was like 8 Falcons dropping off into the end zone in that area, so there was no place to throw it, so he just had to dump it to his outlet.
Well, yeah, and that's a big change from the way things are normally done. Normally you get the man coverage down here. Now watch, everybody is dropping into coverage, and they're looking into the backfield. You're forced to dump it off, but, dumping it off to Ricky ain't a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's now 3rd and goal from the 7 after the pickup of 5. Bassano coming out to the right, Marshall to the left. Rollout is to the right by Pennington. And he got a big rush that time from Jamal Anderson. Couldn't do anything with it. And that'll bring up 4th down. And the Dolphins will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Well, CBS 4 is South Florida's smart choice for news, with more stories that matter to you.
Grounding. Number 10, offense. The quarterback who was out of the pocket did throw the ball forward. However, the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage. This penalty includes a loss of down.
As I was saying,
4th down.
watch Shannon Horry and Antonio Mora weeknights only on CBS 4 News, the official home of the Miami Dolphins. The first time we've had a CBS 4 promo interrupted by an intentional grounding call. Loss of down as well, so it'll be a longer field goal for Carpenter.
Chad Pennington just didn't realize, he just thought throwing it away. He's played, this is his 11th year, and in the 10 years Pennington has played, only twice has he completed a season of 16 games. His problem is injury.
35-yard field goal attempt by Carpenter. And the kick is good. So Dan Carpenter, who started the scoring tonight with a 53-yard field goal, last time the Dolphins had the lead, it is now 10-6. We'll be right back. It's South Florida's biggest party. Be at Sun Life Stadium to experience Dolphins football live and in person. Season tickets as low as $34 per game. Save up to 25% off single game prices. Season tickets include the revolutionary Fan Vision with instant replay on demand right at your seat. So call 1-888-FINS-TICKS now or visit MiamiDolphins.com. Well, the Dolphins have had 2 golden opportunities to score touchdowns. Once they had to settle for a field goal, the last possession, the other time it was intercepted. As Dominique Franks returning the kick for the Falcons. Franks takes it out close to the 30-yard line, and we'll take another timeout. It's a 4-point lead for Atlanta on a, I can say it now, beautiful night at Sun Life Stadium. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for precision and performance. Get there on Goodyear Innovation. And the pilot of the Goodyear blimp is Marty Chandler. The camera operator is Jose Herrera. Who has the tougher job, guys? Oh, come on. It's the pilot. You knew that. All the time.
We have a new.
Well, yeah.
Why?
Chris Redman is the new quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. They have a first down on their 29. And the pass to Finneran is incomplete. Matt Ryan completed 13 of 26 for 103 yards through 1 touchdown pass and 1 pick. So here's Chris Redman, his 4th year with the Falcons, 7th season overall. Career numbers of 23 games. Looking at a 2nd down and 10 from the 29. Memorize those numbers, viewers.
Why?
Good question. Jarius Norwood. And Norwood gets it to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 2. So let's check who's in defensively for the Falcons. We see Marcus Douglas coming to the sideline. We know that in the secondary, the safeties are Jonathan Amaya, who had an interception last week, the rookie, and Rashad Jones. Cornerbacks are Nolan Carroll, I should say, and Nate Ness.
Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, we wish.
Yeah.
He should be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Charlie Anderson and Eric Walden are linebackers. 3rd down and 8 with under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Redman's pass, and he's got it to Michael Palmer. Amaya making the tackle and a pickup of 12 yards and a first down for Atlanta.
'79 at the top of the screen. Lama Francis getting a little pressure. He's one of the guys that's trying to get one of those outside linebacker spots.
Micah Johnson, with Charlie Anderson, Eric Walden, the other 3 linebackers. First down at the 43. Norwood. Norwood is tackled by Alama Francis. He's looking good this preseason.
Yeah, and the thing is, the first thing he checks, Bob, that's so great is he gets upfield, makes sure there's nothing coming back, and then comes down the line of scrimmage. And, all that's part of training. Remember, this guy was a defensive end that now they have stood up and made him a Sam linebacker.
Big Sam linebacker.
His father was a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. His name was Joe Francis during the Vince Lombardi days.
Don't remember him. You?
Yes, I do.
I wasn't born back
2nd down and 9. Jarius Norwood going outside. Here's Norwood with some good speed. I tell you, the Falcons have good depth. Flag goes down. And Jonathan Amaya, let's see if there was a late hit on the play. Charlie Anderson involved as well. McDaniel, Soliai, and Marcus Douglas are the 3 defensive linemen up front.
John Perry, the referee.
After the play, personal foul. Number 56, defense. Late hit, out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Charlie Anderson, 15 more yards. There he is there.
That was it.
Holy mackerel. I'll tell you what, it's not been a good night for the officials, Bob.
Well, you know, in his defense, there was another Dolphin right in front of him, and he couldn't see if the player was going to cut up the sideline or go out of bounds.
Well, it was Amaya, but actually looked like they were both trying to stay up. You know, they're trying to keep from hitting the guy.
First down, Redmond's pass is caught by Harry Douglas, and Douglas getting inside the 10 goes out of bounds near the 5, and the Falcons with Redmond, the backup quarterback, are threatening. Nolan Carroll knocking him out of bounds.
Again, the Dolphins aren't giving these guys much help. They just let them out there and just say, hey, play and let me see what you can do.
By the way, J.D. Folsom replaced Charlie Anderson at linebacker. This is a good Atlanta Falcon team. This is a strong club. Snelling. And he is pushed back, led by Paul Soliai. 2:45 remaining in this fast-moving game. We're in the third quarter, and the Falcons leading 10-6.
You know, when you talk about this Atlanta Falcons team, you know, the Super Bowl champion came from this division, the NFC South division. And you know, it wasn't a few years ago that the New Orleans Saints was just another one of the clubs in that division.
The Aints.
The Aints is right. And now, you know, Atlanta is getting up there to where they can be obviously a playoff team.
Second and goal at the 5. Here's Douglas on the swing pass, and he's stopped. There'll be a loss maybe of a yard. No, probably no gain. Nate Ness coming in and make a good play. Ness played well in the preseason opener here.
But also to see Ikaika out there, Francis, getting back out into play, sees the quarterback boot, gets out, becomes a part of the play. That's what you're looking for, guys that are hustling, that's around the football. You know, once you find those kind of guys, you can teach them the system. But you got to get guys that are willing to turn it loose.
See, he plays on either side of the ball. He was going over. He follows the tight end. He lines up on the side with the tight end.
Third down and goal from the 5. Redmond going into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown by Brian Finneran. Kevin Hobbs was on the coverage, but a well-thrown ball that time by Chris Redmond, and the touchdown giving the Falcons a 16-6 lead at this point.
He's working against Kevin Hobbs. Finneran is a 6'5" wide receiver. Ball's thrown up high. Very difficult to go up and take it away from him.
Matt Bryant for the extra point.
Oh.
And the kick is no good. So Matt Bryant misses the conversion, and it remains a 10-point game, 16-6. Finneran on the 5-yard touchdown catch. Tonight's game menu presented by La Legendera. Taking a look at the Dolphins' home schedule. Get your PDAs out or call 1-888-FINS-TICKS. And you know we know about the tough games there, but you know what? You're going to have to win the games against the likes of the Browns and the Lions and the Bills. I know they're in December, but those games, December is when everything is really decided.
That's true, but is Pittsburgh game is the commissioner's
decision.
no,
on Roethlisberger.
Will Roethlisberger be playing? Will the
mean
suspension be over by then?
Yes.
Is what I'm wondering.
I'm just going to guess. I don't know. Maybe 4 days.
If
Maybe
it's 4 games or 6 games.
Down to Bo.
All right, guys, time for a player profile brought to you by Geico. We're going to take a look at Marlon Moore. This is a guy that the Dolphins want to see a lot of this evening. He's played already. We saw him on the end of the round. Fresno State, undrafted free agent. He had 90 receptions for over 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. And I tell you what, this guy is thin. When you look at him, he looks like a greyhound. We talked to the coaches. They said his calves look like they're about 3 inches around, but he can glide. He's got speed. He's shown the ability to catch the football, and he's getting more time tonight to see what he can do on the football field. Back up to you.
All right, Bo holds a degree in broadcast journalism, so I hope he has a long career. First down on the 20. On the delay, the handoff to Patrick Cobbs. Cobbs, maybe a yard at the most.
Patrick Cobbs is a favorite of head coach Tony Sperano. And he's a favorite because he can do so many things. He can play on special teams. He's a big player in the Wildcat. He does so many different things for you. And the other guy is Hilliard, the other running back. The third and fourth running backs do a lot on the special teams.
Moore, Wallace, and Turner are the wide receivers out there. Second down and 9. 2 out of the 3 could very well make this team. And the handoff to Cobbs on the end around. And Cobbs with a lot of speed, but Falcons did a good job on this. It gets about 5 yards with William Moore making the tackle.
And this is a play we see Ricky Williams run a lot. Patrick Cobbs does a nice job picking his spot. Great blocking out front by Moore, I think that was. That was either Moore or Turner, but another good block by a wide receiver.
Looked like a takedown.
Yeah.
If the officials don't call it, it's a good block.
That's what you taught him how to do that. That flanker out there blocking.
If the official don't call it.
I used to send you in on them linebackers instead of all the little cornerbacks out there outside.
Third down and 4 from the 26. Empty backfield, and the Pennington gets it out to Joey Hanos. And that should be enough for the first down. Hanos, by the way, battling with John Nalbone, what could be the third tight end position. And shaken up is Joey Hanos at 6'8". He wants to stay in the game.
Dolphins preseason football in high definition on CBS 4 is brought to you in part by Suzuki and the new Kizashi midsize sports sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Volvo. There's more to life than a Volvo. That's why you drive one. Volvo, for life.
And we're back here at Sun Life Stadium. Dick Stockton, Matt Moore, and Bob Greasy. Joey Hanos went back out there. For you astronomy fantasy players, we've got something to show you. That's the moon on the left, but on the right, that little dot is Mars. Yes, Mars. And that's the closest it's going to be to Earth for how long? 60,000 years. That's when Bob Greasy was in his second season with the Dolphins. Chad Pennington on the fade and throwing incomplete to Cobbs downfield.
He's getting a little cocky over there, isn't he, Nat?
I tell you what, he's really feeling his weight right about now, you know. I thought I was the only one get a chance to pick on you.
You're taking your shot since this is my last game with you guys.
That's exactly why we're doing that.
See? The first game he was nice to us, wasn't he? He was real nice.
Oh, now us?
What can I do for you?
I've been nice to Nat all the way.
Uh-huh.
And I have to be nice to Nat because he's with me next week. Second down and 10. Lex Hilliard is the running back, and Pennington's pass, and a good catch made by Roberto Wallace. So Wallace wants to be in the mix for sure. Wallace has got good size, and he's a good special teamer. And Hanos is shaken up. Remember, Joey Hanos wanted to stay in the game, came out when he was shaken up on the last series, and now he is hurt. 10-yard gain, first down, but it's not good to see Joey down. We'll be back.
It's Joey Hanos being helped off the field moments ago. Looks like it's his knee. or his ankle. The left side of your screen over here. Joey Hanos, the tight end. You know, he just pulled up. I think, you know, he hurt that a little bit before. I think a couple plays before. That's the first time he pushed off. That might be a, I don't want to guess, but.
First down at the 41. And gambling for the pick against Wallace was Travis Jackson. It'll be second down and 10. So John Nalbone is in there now. And we know, of course, that Fasano and Martin slated to be 1-2 tight end in the battle for number 3 between Hanos and Nalbone.
And Sperry, the other tight end, they let him go last week.
And he was picked up by the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So there's John Nalbone out of Monmouth in New Jersey.
He was a draft pick of the Dolphins last year, was released, and then came back on the taxi squad. So he spent a year with us.
Second down and 10 at the 41.
And what
out of the backfield is Raleigh Lambala, the fullback. And Raleigh protecting the ball nicely will give the Dolphins a first down to the 44 of the Atlanta Falcons. Good gain there by Miami of 14 yards.
Well, and you see what happens when you blitz a sharp quarterback like a Chad Pennington. He gets rid of the football, gets it out to the back in a hurry, gives him a chance to square up and to make something happen. All you want to do is get your playmaker one-on-one in open field and see what he can do.
Lambala from Idaho played in the Canadian League with British Columbia.
There you go.
Patrick Cobbs is the tailback. Lambala the fullback. First down on the 45 of Atlanta. And off the hands of Marlon Moore, incomplete.
Dolphins have a history of picking up players out of the Canadian League. And all the way back to 1970. Who was that? Dick?
I don't know.
Trivia question.
Thank you.
Matt and I came up with a trivia question.
Next week's trivia question.
No, it's this week's trivia question, and it's for you.
You mean it's right now?
There you are.
Jake Scott.
There you go.
All right. Thank you. You guys ganged up on me because you had video for this. You guys set me up for this. And you left me hanging.
Uh-huh.
But after 60,000 years, I guess you can do that. Second down and 10 from the 45. They fake, and now the throw. They threw it away, intended for Cobbs. It was tipped, actually.
Anyway, Jake is going into the Ring of Honor right now.
Yes, he is.
He's scheduled to go in the Ring of Honor this year. He's still the all-time leading interceptor in Dolphin history.
Yep.
Played for the Dolphins for 6 years, 5-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl 72 MVP. A guy that is richly deserving, along with Bill Stanfield.
Yep. Both of them went to Georgia.
Yep.
Third down and 10 from the 45. Chad Pennington gets the ball off at the last second underneath to Lex Hilliard. Knocked back, and they're going to be shy of the first down by a good 6 yards. Travis Jackson on the play. There's Stanfield, the other Georgian, in number 84.
And Bill is actually the second all-time leading sacker in Dolphin history behind Jason Taylor.
Billy Kilmer went down on that last play, guys.
Yep.
And there is Nat Moore, number 89, and number 1 in our hearts.
Ring of Honor.
And Bob Greasy.
Get some more room up there for some of these guys.
2 Super Bowl championships. And there's the punt by Brandon Fields. Dominique Franks. And it's going to be Pruitt. It will down it at about the 5-yard line for the Dolphins. They measure great players on championships. Bob has 2. Welcome back to Sun Life Stadium. The Falcons lead the Dolphins 16-6, and let's go down for a report from Kim Bokamper.
All right, guys, injury report on Joey Hanos. Obviously, it was his pain on the field. They took him off, immediately set him on the table, cut the tape off his ankle, looked at his ankle. They're calling it a foot injury. His return to this game is doubtful, and it didn't look like a good situation for Joey Hanos, but we'll keep an eye on it as the rest of the game goes on. Fellas.
Great, Bo. Thank you. First down on the 6. Chris Redmond backing up Matt Ryan at quarterback. Jason Snelling with the handoff. Snelling powers his way out to the 12-yard line.
There he is right there, number 81. That's Janos. Now watch, he gets bent backwards. Watch his yeah.
Coy Wire was the defender on that play. Now carted off. So 2nd down and 4. Falcons on their 12. They go to Snelling again. This time gets an opening off the right side and up for the 1st down. Ness making the tackle out at the 17-yard line, getting 6 more yards. So the Dolphins, who won their first preseason game over Tampa Bay here at Sun Life Stadium 10-7, in which the offense didn't show much. Defense had several turnovers. And then in a high-scoring 1-point win last week over Jacksonville, the offense came alive there. And then against the toughest opponent they have played in the preseason, trailing 16-6, have not managed a touchdown against Atlanta. And here's a completed pass to Palmer. And another 1st down out to the 31-yard line. Amaya covering Palmer. 13 on that play.
Maya had an interception last week versus Jacksonville, but he's going up against another rookie in Palmer, who's 6'5", 260, out of Clemson. Big target, hard to get around him as they play basketball by positioning his body to catch the football.
Falcons now at the 31. They were on the 6-yard line, and here is Jason Snelling. Snelling's a pretty good running back who takes a back seat to the Michael Turners and the Jarius Norwoods. Alama Francis making the tackle there after a gain of 6. Well, former Dolphins coach Jimmy Johnson won a national championship at the U and a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. But can he win on Survivor? Survivor Nicaragua moves to Wednesdays at 8 p.m. starting September 15th only on CBS 4, the official home of the Miami Dolphins. How great does he look?
I got to watch that.
I'm going to watch it, but I've already put my money on Jimmy.
We hope everyone does. 2nd down and 4 with under 10 minutes to go. Here's Snelling again, or make it Norwood. And Norwood with a 1st down at the 45-yard line. And the Falcons keeping it on the ground and moving the ball against this Miami backup defense.
Well, you're right, and a lot of the players are backups, people that they want to get in there and take a look at. You know, the first cut down of the training camp comes on Tuesday when you got to get down to 75 players. Now, what do you have to cut? 15 players, and they're at 90 right now. That's what they allow.
No, they actually allow 85, but the Dolphins already down around 77, if I'm not mistaken, or less. So it won't be a big cut.
Right.
Final cut will be September 4th when you get down to the 53. Here's Norwood. And Norwood gets 2 yards. Austin Spidler, who was a 7th-round draft pick out of Ohio State. So now you're getting down to the final spots, I guess, and that's what the last preseason game will show. In fact, Tyler Thigpen, for example, not going to play in this game, but you may see him throughout the entire Dallas game.
Right. Pat White is warming up and will probably take the next offense for the Dolphins. But as we came in, we said, and Tony told us yesterday, that 90% of the roster has already been decided upon.
2nd down and 8. Redmond kind of lost that one off his fingers, intended for Troy Bergeron. It'll be 3rd down and 8 on the Atlanta 47. Let's look at the update on Dodge Ram keys. Bob, big picture dress rehearsal.
Well, the offense didn't do that well. They had the ball, 7 times in the first half and only scored a field goal on their first drive. And Pennington got a field goal in one of his drives in the second half. Defensively, they played pretty well. But, you know, I hate preseason games for a lot of different reasons. And one of them is the fact that you don't know how hard the other team is playing, how hard the other team is preparing, or you don't know how hard you're preparing. And you know the coaches out there, they're saying in offensive meetings and defensive meetings, they're putting stuff in that we're going to use in a couple of weeks. But we're not going to use that this week for this game. So you get that in the back of your mind, so it messes you up.
Marlon Moore is back deep for the Dolphins as Hobbs broke up that play. And the punt here by Michael Kanan. Moore got away from one, but down he goes. And we're going to take a break. Remember, Nat Moore in our Dodge Ram Keys talked about special teams. He'll give his thoughts when we return. Dolphin fans, get club-level seats now for the 3 primetime games against the Jets, Patriots, and Bears with the Primetime Premium Pack presented by Sun Life Financial. 3 games, 3 club-level seats, save $300. Enjoy your weather-protected wider seat, or you can kick it up a notch and revel in the transformed, climate-controlled lounges of the club. It's a 5-star experience. Call 1-888-FINS-TICKS or visit MiamiDolphins.com. So Pat White is in with 8:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. And this is his first pass attempt of preseason, and he completes it to Roberto Wallace. And he gets about 7 yards on the play. And now, Nat, let's talk about your point about special teams and how they performed tonight.
Well, they were better is the first thing I can say, because they haven't given up the block. They haven't given up the big play, but a lot better. But they've got to get better. I mean, they were so bad the first 2 ball games. You're starting to see guys in the position that they're going to play now. A lot of guys, they will put them in different positions where they would normally not play. You see Cobbs and you see Hilliard and those type guys playing tonight.
2nd down and 3 from the 19. Second year, Pat White on the rollout, looking to run, directing the blockers, and he gets the first down as he goes out of bounds at the 25. Gain of 5 yards for Pat White, picked on the 2nd round last year.
And there you see the speed and athleticism of what a Pat White gives you. He's able to get outside the pocket, use his legs. Nobody's open downfield. Picks up a first down and gets out of bounds. Go ahead, Nat.
I just going to say Pat White holds the NCAA record for rushing yardage by a quarterback with over 4,500 yards.
Wow. Now Bone is the tight end on first down. Here is White, and he completes the pass again to Roberto Wallace. Tell you that size for Wallace really helps him, doesn't it, Nat?
Hey, he's made a couple nice plays. On the play where Joey Hanos got hurt, he caught the ball 3-4 yards short of the first down, broke tackle, picked up the first down. Very strong guy. He's 230 pounds. Nice job of putting his hands down, regaining his balance, and getting a Dolphin first down.
And every time we ask one of the coaches about him, the first thing that comes out of their mind, oh, he's a big kid. 6'4", he's 6'4", 225. He's almost as big as Brandon Marshall. Maybe 5 pounds lighter.
Rookie out of San Diego State, first down after the 11-yard pickup. And here is White. And White goes down. And a loss on the play. That was Lawrence Sidbury. And a loss of 9 yards.
Right tackle. Gardner is one of the guys fighting for a job. He's a second-year player from Georgia Tech.
So it'll be 2nd down and 18, and back to the 27-yard line. This time Turner and Moore come out to the left, and Roberto Wallace, who has caught 3 passes for 28 yards, wide right. And the flag goes down, and we'll have false start call against the Dolphins. All right, penalty, and it was a 5-yard penalty regardless of the microphone. Let's check in with Bo.
Hi, guys. Talking about Andrew Gardner. He's having a battle for that tackle spot with Lyden Murtha, and both of them, the coaches talk about those guys. If they could take little from one, little from the other, and put them together, things would be pretty well. When you look at Murtha, he's more of a big physical guy, has some trouble in pass protection. Gardner, more of a technician out there. He had a little trouble in pass protection in that play, but he's got some aspects of his game that they like. So both of those guys battling out, and both have certain aspects of their game that they've got to get better at in order to earn a roster spot with the Miami Dolphins.
All right, Bo, good analysis there. And there was a short pass to Marlon Moore, who lost a yard. 16-6.
And there's always Nate Gardner, who is an offensive lineman who was injured, that will be back at some point in time in the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And, you know, he can be a tackle. He can play backup tackle. In fact, when one of them got hurt, I think it was Carey got hurt last year, he went in at right tackle and Carey moved over.
And Randy Thomas, who was picked up, was waived injured this week. 3rd down and 24 for the Dolphins, back on their 21-yard line. Pass caught by Turner. And Turner, good tackle made that time by Stephen Nicholas, number 54, but it'll be 4th down. So Turner was one of these players who I think the Dolphins may not have been that high on when preseason games started, and he has helped his cause.
Yeah, he's helped his cause. He's had a couple catches in every ball game, and you know, he's played tough. He's running better routes. Sometimes when you're a rookie coming into the league, you get story-eyed and you just don't pick up the offense as easily.
Dominique Franks with the fair catch at the 19. 49-yard punt that time by Brandon Fields. So the Falcons, with 3:29 remaining, will take over, leading the Dolphins by 10. Cam, brought to you by Children's Trust. Great to see the kids out here. Football fans, young football players, having a good time here at Sun Life Stadium.
Bring a smile to your face, don't they?
Yes. Falcons with a 1st down on the 20. Antone Smith, who came into the game as the leading rusher in preseason for the Falcons, gets a couple of yards.
Former Florida State Seminole, free agent and 09.
From Pahokee.
Home of Ricky Jackson.
Yes.
Just went in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
Well
right.
deserved.
That's right.
2nd down and 8. Well, we saw the experiment with the 2 back judges today. And, of course, the ongoing situation involving the umpire moving behind the line of scrimmage, and aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for precision and performance. Get there on Goodyear Innovation. And our thanks once again to our pilot, Marty Chandler, and Jose Herrera, the camera operator, doing a great job tonight under clear skies. Great to have that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
2nd down and 8. Redmond in relief of Matt Ryan. This is going to be a strong Atlanta Falcon team. And they're going to be improved on defense, and they demonstrated that against the first team of the Dolphins tonight, Matt.
Well, this is an Atlanta team that last year everybody had big hopes for. Matt Ryan didn't play as well as he did his freshman year, a couple of injuries, and they never got to where everybody expected them to be. But this is a good football team. They got key people in all the right places. They fly around on defense, are very quick defense. So, you know, they're going to be in the mix.
Yeah, Rich McKay is up there. He is the president. And,
Thomas Dimitrov is the general manager.
right. Arthur Blank, the owner, and it's been a good franchise. Yes. And now that they've got themselves a franchise quarterback, I think this team is going to do good things this year.
Four of the coaches on the staff are former Dolphin coaches.
3rd down and 7. Smith going wide, and he is tackled. Coming in to make the play was Micah Johnson from Kentucky, and another timeout called. We also have a flag down. So the Dolphins have one timeout left. Face mask. You can read lips. You don't need the microphone here. It's against Miami. Automatic first down.
Well,
Mike Mularkey, of course, who
offensive coordinator, was earlier with Pittsburgh, came in here with Miami, was the offensive coordinator. Paul Boudreaux, a former offensive line coach. Keith Armstrong, special teams coordinator. Glenn Piles, linebacker coach. And of course,
Biscuit.
Terry Robisky, wide receiver coach, was a head coach for the Cleveland Browns for a stint.
Yes, he was. And the Washington Redskins for a couple of games.
29 years Robisky has been in the National Football League.
He's a great guy. Mularkey, by the way, from Fort Lauderdale, played at the University of Florida. Dimitri Nance is the running back, first down, and Nance gets the call. And he is slowed up by Micah Johnson, but not enough. And he nearly got the first down. He is stopped by Austin Spittler and Rashad Jones. Well, we're going to talk about this game in detail in our wrap-up in our post-game show, but we can tell you that we'll talk about the Dolphins offense. They did not register a touchdown, but rushing tonight, they rushed 15 times for 20 yards and a 1.3 average. And that's, not in character with them.
Well, and this is a football team that want to control the line of scrimmage, running the football, pounding the football, controlling the football, and tonight just not able to get it done.
Well, and I say this, again, they did not game plan for this. That would bother me a lot more that I knew that if it was a regular season game that they worked all week on to game plan and try and watch film and do some things that would hurt the other team. But that wasn't the case here. So, these are preseason games where you put the people out there, the offensive tackles, one-on-one. We're not going to help you. We're going to see how you can do. But during the season, they would help people.
And you're right, Bob. You know they're going to be running the ball very effectively. 2-minute warning. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens. Dick Stockton along with Bob Greasy and Nat Moore. 2 minutes remaining in the game and the 10-point lead. And, basically the only injury, none of them are any good. Joey Hanos with the foot injury. And that has been one decent thing for the Dolphins in the first 3 games, guys, and the fact that they haven't had a rash of those injuries.
Well, you want to get as much work as you can, but in the end, especially the third ball game going into the fourth, it's all about getting out healthy, making sure you've got your players there to open the season.
Doesn't matter how badly you play. If you come out of the games healthy,
right.
Look at it the other way. Maybe you played well, but you got 3 or 4 guys hurt.
No good.
The only guys they've gotten hurt on offense is Hanos and Garner.
Yeah, and Jake Grove we got to check out too a little bit, right?
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then defensively, you got Merling, who the defensive end,
right,
and A.J. Eads, who was the draft pick, the 4th-round draft pick, who they had high hopes for at linebacker.
A lot of these guys got hurt even before contact.
Well, and that's the key. You lose Philip Merling, you lose Epps or
Will Allen.
Will Allen, same thing. But hopefully Will Allen will be back very, very soon. They were projected earlier that he would be back to start the season, but we haven't gotten any word on that.
I just got the feeling, especially defensively, that we haven't seen anything like what we're going to see from the Dolphins when the season starts. And that Brandon Marshall's a game breaker. He's going to play big. And, this team is solid. I have a feeling, don't you think that the coaching staff knows what they have, basically?
Well, and that's what he said. The team, that's what they've been doing all this time. He said to us yesterday, the team is 90%. We know the roster, 90% the makeup of it.
And they know it's decent.
Yeah, they know it's pretty good,
Well, and the thing that they do is they count every snap in practice. So they have a dossier on each and every player as to what their capabilities are.
Well, the Miami Dolphins lose their first preseason game of this year and have their 9-game preseason winning streak snapped by the Atlanta Falcons. And the final score, the Falcons 16 and the Dolphins 6, with one more preseason game to go. That'll be next Thursday in Dallas against the Cowboys in their monumental Stadium, and then the season begins against the Buffalo Bills. That'll be a road game. 2 road games against Buffalo and Minnesota before the home opener September 26th against the New York Jets on a Sunday night. Second game will be on a Monday night. A home game against the New England Patriots before the first bye. So the Dolphins will not play a Sunday home game until October 24th when they go against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, as Bob astutely figured, is that going to be number 6? Will Roethlisberger be eligible before that or not? That remains to be seen. Let's go down to Kimbo Camper.
All right, guys, I'm down here with Vontae Davis. And Vontae, this was a game. It looked like you had everything going your way. You were covering well, put some good hits out there. Do you feel good about the way you played?
I mean, I got stuff to work on. You know, that's what it's for. Preseason, get the kinks out. You know, game 3. I mean, of course, I feel better. You know, watching film and just study, get back in football thing, and getting ready for the season.
How much different is it for you this year at this point than it was last year when you were a rookie and just trying to get acclimated to this league? Now you've played for a year and you kind of know what to expect?
I mean, it's just competing, you know, learn. I have a year under my belt. I'm not really thinking as much. It's like coming, like going with the flow now. It ain't like, oh, seeing different formations and just thinking. So right now I'm just calm and just relaxed, more relaxed.
We haven't seen much of your defense. You guys have been pretty vanilla out there. When the season rolls around, we can expect to see a lot more?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. Vontae Davis, as he said, stay tuned, and you stay tuned. The Dolphins come up in the short end, 16-6. We'll be back with more from Sun Life Stadium after this.